If you're an aggressive coach like me, you love the pinch. You want your D to hold the line, keep pucks in, and maintain offensive pressure as long as possible in the offensive zone. But there's one thing that kills the aggressive pinch every time, and that's the chip and chase. Smart teams know they can't stick handle through you, so they just chip it off the glass and then win the race to the red line, dump it in deep, and go put a ton of pressure on you. Suddenly, your aggressive forecheck turns into a track meet, and you don't want that. Your D get exhausted, and all they're doing is chasing and retrieving pucks all the time. So today, I'm going to show you how to kill a chip and chase using a system most people think is passive. The 1-2-2. When coaches hear 1-2-2, they usually think neutral zone trap. That means passive. That means backing up, letting the other team out of the zone, and then hopefully getting it back in the neutral zone so they can then regroup and re-attack the offensive zone. We don't want to surrender zones. That's not how I run it. That's not how I recommend running it. You can play a 1-2-2 and be incredibly aggressive. It's not about retreating. It's about controlling where the other team goes and controlling where you apply the seal. Let's take a look at the difference. Here we have a typical neutral zone trap style 1-2-2 with F1 high on the blue line, F2 and F3 in the neutral zone, and then the defensemen are even further back than that. Very passive. That's not how I like to run this. I like to be ultra aggressive with this, and you'll see how it works here in a second. We send F1 in. F1 is not just steering traffic here. F1 is hunting. So we want to send him or her in hard and fast on the puck carrier, and I like to take an outside in angle so that we actually flush this puck carrier out from one side of the ice to the other. Now, as the rest of them are coming in, what we're watching for is which direction is F1 flying in here and which direction is he or she flushing to. So if we can tell that this is going to be flushed from the strong side to the weak side, then we'll come in and immediately just slide over like this. And in fact, I like to make it, I'm going to adjust the spacing a little bit here. We're going to pull the defenseman back on the blue line, and then this F2 slides in like this. And so as F1, and that's the main thing, F1 is making sure that the puck carrier, whatever the puck carrier does, that it's being done under pressure. Okay, so F1 is flushing and steering the puck carrier from one side of the ice to the other and making it so that he or she cannot turn up ice. So you're on the inside hip of this puck carrier, pushing and flushing from one side to the other. This is where we're controlling where we're sealing the seam, right? We're controlling this off. So as we push across, we're making it so the only option is going to be a board side pass. And we time it so that as the puck arrives, F3 in this case, seals off the boards. So again, we're controlling where the puck carrier goes and then sealing off when the pass is made. Okay, now, if we do this right, and the forwards are all in position with F1 flushing strong, and F2 and F3 are in position immediately where it needs to be, then we can be aggressive on this pinching defenseman. And that pinching defenseman can even slide up even further. But we want to seal this off at the hash marks. So as the pinching defenseman slides up even further, if the puck comes, chips past F3, well, then we're there, we keep it. And I always tell my defensemen, do not overcomplicate this. You're either dumping it back in or shooting it on net, but your job is not to stick handle. If you're keeping a puck in, if you're the pinching defenseman, you don't stick handle. Either dump it back in or put it on net. And what else do we have? As this is happening, F2 is swinging across or sliding, coming across at a defensive angle. The defenseman is at a defensive angle. So even if F3 misses, even if this defenseman pinching misses, what we should have here is this flush man. As the pass is being made, the flush man is still following and shadowing the puck. And if the puck gets passed, then that F1 is already on his or her way as a back checker. So we shouldn't be giving up odd man rushes if you do this properly. Now, let me tell you a quick warning here. If the forwards are not in position, then this defenseman cannot pinch. Now, maybe he or she decides whether or not to hold the line, but most of the time, if somebody fails in their responsibility on F1, 2, or 3, well, then both defensemen are going to be just backing out and starting on the defensive play on that. Now, let me just give you one last tip if you're coaching younger players. Younger puck carriers panic when they feel aggressive pressure from F1. So instead of skating from one side to the other, which would be the logical play and, create some opening for themselves, they don't even fall for that. They tend to panic and just throw it up the strong side boards. So with younger teams, I don't have F2 and F3 come in the middle and then adjust to whichever side it comes up. I have them go straight to the offensive or straight to the strong side boards and seal it all off on the strong side immediately. Then if the other team is smart enough to go, from one side of the ice to the other, that's where the foos comes in, what I call it. And that's where everybody just fully, let me grab that again. Everybody just fully foozes across, like they're playing foosball, right? Like these guys are attached to the foosball handles and they just swing fully across. And that's how that works. So they're either swinging back here or swinging here, but they all move together. So if you're seeing your team run this well, you're going to start noticing the other team ices it a lot. That's the only thing that they're left to do because they can't get out past you. F1 makes it so they can't turn up ice and skate it. And all they're left to do is try to just throw it out of the zone. And you'll start seeing, so that's a great sign. And you can point that out to your players. You start seeing the other team ice it a lot, you're doing your job well. And that's the victory. You get an offensive zone face-off, your best players get fresh legs, and you can set back up in the offensive zone. You didn't retreat. You dictated the play. You controlled where they went. So if you're tired of getting burned by the chip and chase, don't stop pinching. Just give your D-men some help. That support comes by installing an aggressive 1-2-2 with the seal at the hash marks and forcing the other team to give up the puck and to ice the puck. So guys, if you're looking to install this with your team and give it a try, I put a PDF description of this setup in the comments or in the description of this video. So you can print it out, bring it to the bench, and give it a try with your team.